Hi everyone, my name is Janine, and thank you so much for joining me for the beginning of this elemental series. So today we're going to be working with the element of air. So air can be a powerful symbol of spirit, of omnipresence, of transformation, of connection. And air connects us to our heart center, to our heart chakra. So we're going to be working through some heart opening poses today, as well as working with our lungs and our lung capacity through some different breath patterns and playing with some pranayama exercises. So through our movement practice today, I will invite a lightness. So we can do this by being very intentional with our movements. So when we are stepping from the front or the back of our mat or moving through transitional poses, we can do that by being intentional, having sturdiness and strength in our foundation, but thinking about really growing tall through the arches of our feet. So finding this upward current of energy that creates this lift and this almost airy-like floating sensation. So maybe we can bring in the quality of being as light as a feather. So even though air and wind can be very soft and gentle, it can also be very strong and powerful. So I want to embody both of these qualities through our practice today. So our practice will be very activating and strong, requiring some balance. But I would like you to join in this feeling of lightness, of airiness, of feather-like quality. And maybe by bringing in this light tone throughout our practice, we can bring in a playfulness. So not taking things so seriously, both on and off the mat. So air, the connection of our hearts, of our minds, our creativity, our imagination, our transformations. So we'll begin by coming into a pranayama exercise. So this breath exercise comes from Kundalini Yoga, and this is a kriya. So it'll be a twisted breath exercise. So I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll do it together. We're going to move through this exercise for about a minute, and I will tell you when we are about halfway up and then when we are almost finished. So it's going to look like this. We're going to bring our arms up so our shoulders are about in line with our elbows. And we're going to bend our elbows so our fingertips are in front of our shoulders and our thumb is behind our shoulders. Rooting into our sit bones here, so we're growing nice and tall, shrugging our shoulders back behind us so our shoulders aren't creeping up towards our ears. And we'll close down the eyes here. So your focus is at your third eye center. So your seat of intuition here, your higher self. So as you inhale, you'll twist your torso to one side, keeping your head in line with your torso. And when you exhale, you twist your body, your torso to the other side, keeping again your head in line with your torso. So it'll look like this. So you can move as quickly or as slowly as you want to, but the idea is to pair your movement with your breath. So let's begin by bringing our arms up towards our shoulders, our hands onto our shoulders here, elbows nice and high. Let's inhale deeply through the nose and exhale and begin. We're about halfway now. So connect back towards your breath. If you've fallen out of it, just come back in. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center, keeping your arms up. Breathe fully in. Hold your breath at the top. And exhale to release everything down, bringing your hands to your lap, keeping your eyes closed here if that feels good. Just returning to your natural rhythm of breath and observing any shifts, observing the prana, the energy flow that is moving through your body. Okay, you can begin to blink your eyes open. Maybe bringing your hands so they are your palms so they are now turned on top of your knees, and we'll just begin to dip our chin towards our chest here, finding length in the back of the neck, breathing here. And you can begin to bring your left ear to your left shoulder, just tick-tocking out your chin here, so turning your chin towards your armpit and your chin up towards the sky. Just moving with how it feels good for you. Feeling length in the right side of the neck. And turning your right or your left ear to your left shoulder here. Beginning to walk your right hand out towards the right side. Maybe allowing your fingertips to just graze the earth or allowing them to float just above. Feeling a lightness here. Maybe feeling any energy that's moving through your fingertips from that breath exercise. And just breathing here. Feeling the pull and the stretch from your fingertips all the way up your arm and across your right side of the neck. Bringing your hand back onto your knee as you begin to roll your chin towards your chest, coming over to your other side. So bringing your right ear to your right shoulder and just tick-tocking out the chin here. So you're turning it down towards your armpit and then up towards the sky. Turning your right ear to your right shoulder, maybe walking your left hand fingertips out towards your left side, allowing your hands to float just above the earth or maybe just grazing it, but feeling that buoyancy and that floating like sensation through your fingertips and your palm. As you breathe here and you find that length through the left side of the neck. And bringing your palm back onto your knee as you roll your chin back to your chest, lifting your head back up to center. From here, let's roll forward. So we're coming onto our hands and knees from here. Setting yourself up for a cat and cow. Just inhaling as you drop your belly and exhaling as you round your spine. Just moving like this on your own, a couple rounds here, getting some movement in the spine. And then coming back to a neutral spine, we're going to tuck our toes and begin to walk ourselves up. So we're standing onto our knees here. So we're going to get into a big heart opener. This is camel pose. So bringing your hands back behind you. So your hands are just about on the top of your hip or the top of your glute here. So think about hugging your elbows in towards each other, opening up the chest, and maybe your gaze looks up towards the sky. So maybe this is enough for you right here, and that is all good. This is a big heart opener. If you want to get into a bigger back bend, maybe one hand at a time, you begin to lean back until your hand finds your heel. So maybe you are here now. So pushing your pelvis forward, lifting your chest up towards the sky, your gaze looks up, being mindful of your neck here, and breathing. So big back bend, big heart opener. If you're finding it hard to breathe, then just come out of it a little bit. So this big heart opener and this air-like quality connects us to all things. Our breath connects us to all other living things as we all breathe the same air, which connects us through our heart. So something to remember and something to be grateful for. Take one more breath wherever you are. If you're down on your heels, you can slowly begin to lift yourself up, bringing your hands back towards your glutes or your hips here, and lifting yourself up. We'll sit ourselves down onto our heels, untucking the toes, rolling forward onto your hands and knees here. Tuck your toes again and push yourself up into a downward facing dog. So taking a few moments here to pedal it out, doing whatever your body is calling for in this pose. But I would like to invite in one more big breath here. So we're going to get into a lion's breath. So if you don't know what that is, just think about on your exhale, opening your mouth, sticking your tongue as far out as you can, as you open up your eyes as wide as you can. So just have fun with it, be playful. So deeply inhale through the nose and lion's breath on your exhale. One more time like that. Inhale through the nose and lion's breath. All right, on your next exhale, slowly begin to walk yourself to the top of your mat, coming into a ragdoll fold here. So just letting yourself round, maybe bending at the knees, grabbing onto opposite elbows if that feels good, and maybe just swaying side to side. So a little bit of a breeze is now picking up for me here where I am. And part of this air elemental practice was inspired by just how windy it's been lately. And it's interesting to observe the shifts of Mother Nature and when she wants to be extra windy or not. So when I think of air, I also think about birds in flight, birds literally using this element to soar through the air, to float, to fly, as it is so, so beneficial and helpful and necessary for them, just as much as it is for us, though we are not flying. But maybe we can bring in this quality. So on your inhale, let's halfway lift, but let's bring our hands out and our arms out nice and wide, like we're opening up our wings, like we are a bird in flight. And exhale as you fold forward. Doing that one more time. Inhale, halfway lift, opening your wings, thinking about your favorite bird flying through the air, and exhale, fold. Let's inhale to slowly roll ourselves up to standing, Finding ourselves nice and tall at the top of the mat, maybe shining your palms forward. Taking a moment here into Dasana, our mountain pose, the spirit of the mountain here, creating a sturdiness and a strong, powerful stance. But again, think about lifting up through the arches, and that is growing you tall, creating this upward current of energy. Maybe you can literally feel an extra little incremental length of lift. Let's inhale our hands up towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale, circle them back towards the sides. 2 more times like that. Inhale your hands up towards the sky. And exhale, circling them back beside you. Inhale up. Exhale, rounding them down. From here, let's inhale our hands to heart center. We're going to come into some balancing poses now. So rooting into your right foot here. We're going to lift our left knee up towards the sky, hugging it in towards our chest. So taking a moment here to just check in with your balance, breathing deeply through the nose. And on your exhale, we're going to step it back on a 45-degree angle. So we're setting ourselves up for a warrior 1 here. So your left foot is angling to the left corner of your mat, bending at the knee. Maybe your hands are on your hips here, and that is all good. Think about turning both your hips to face the front of the mat. And on your next inhale, maybe floating your arms up towards the sky. Watching so your shoulders aren't creeping up towards your ears. Finding strength in your foundation and rooting into your feet while growing tall and finding a lightness in your upper body. Maybe circling out the wrists here, maybe rolling each finger out. Just finding a lightness and a sway here. Allowing yourself to sway in the wind. Or imaginary wind if you are indoors, but that air that is circling around you, even if you don't feel it. And circling your arms. So you're bringing your hands now to your hips. Let's lengthen that front leg. And from here, we're going to begin to fold. So hinging at the hips, leading with the heart as you begin to fold forward, coming into your folded pyramid pose. So maybe your hands stay right here on your hip, or maybe you bring them to your shin, or maybe to the earth, or maybe to a couple blocks nearby if you have those. So keeping a nice long spine here, a micro bend in that front knee, pushing equally into both feet, finding that lift in the arch. And let's inhale to halfway lift, growing those wings nice and long. And exhale to fold. One more time like that. Inhale, halfway lift, growing nice and big. And exhale to fold. Let's bring both of our hands on the inside of that right foot. And use that just to begin to walk your hands and turning your feet so you're facing the long edge of the mat. Your heels stay in, toes stay out. And let's slowly begin to bend into either side of our knees, either knees. So just flowing and swaying side to side like this. Maybe your hands are grazing the earth. Maybe you're beginning to grow taller, but finding a nice lightness and a buoyancy in the upper body while being strong through the lower body. And just be playful here. Maybe try something different, break out of those patterns. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, and growing taller until you find yourself in your goddess pose. So maybe your hands keep flowing side to side. Maybe you bring your hands so your palms are facing up, squeezing your shoulder blades and opening up the chest here. Good. Squatting deeply, tucking your pelvis here in your tailbone. Just breathing. We'll inhale as we lengthen our legs, bring our hands up towards the sky, palms touch, and exhale to deeply bend into those knees, hands to heart center. So your choice, flow like this a few rounds. Inhale to grow tall, and exhale to squat. One more wherever you are. Let's lengthen our legs, bring our hands to our hips again. So just turning your heels out, toes in, we're going to find ourselves now in a wide-legged forward fold. So hinging at the hips, grow your spine nice and tall first. Hands at the hips, begin to hinge at the hips as you fold forward, again leading with that heart. So your hands now find wherever is comfortable for you. Maybe you crawl them back behind you. Maybe they're holding on to either ankle. Maybe you're grabbing onto your elbows. Just taking a few rounds of breath, maybe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Rocking your head side to side, just letting everything go in your upper body here. And wherever you are, let's bring our hands back to the hips, bending in the knees slightly to begin to lift yourself up. Again, lead with that heart center to pull you all the way up to standing. From here, let's heel toe our feet in towards each other. And you can step to the top of the mat before we get into our other side. Let's inhale our hands back up to the sky, palms touch, and circle them back towards your sides. 2 more times like that. Feeling the energy that you create throughout your palms as you move through these poses. And hands to heart center, this time rooting into your left foot. Let's inhale as we lift our right knee towards our chest, hugging it in, finding your balance here, finding that lift through the left arch of the foot. And when you're ready, stepping it back, bringing your right foot on the 45-degree angle, stepping it into your warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1 here, squaring off the hips, bending deeply into your left knee. Maybe your hands begin to float up towards the sky. So nice and strong here through the lower body, and super airy and light and feather-like quality through the upper body. Circling out the wrists or the fingers, being flowy and fluid here. And circling your hands towards your side, lengthening that front leg. Let's grab onto clasp our hands back behind us this time. So using that upward current of energy, nice big open heart, hinging at the hips and diving forward for your forward fold in your pyramid here. Pulling your hands back behind you, creating a nice big shoulder opening, big shoulder stretch here, as well as finding length in that left hamstring. If this is too much for your shoulders, then just bring your hands wherever feels good for you. On the mat, on your shin, on some blocks. Maybe on your hips here. Wherever you are, let's halfway lift growing your arms nice and wide like that bird soaring through the air. Exhale to fold. One more time like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Squeeze your scapula. Exhale, fold. Now bringing both hands so they're on the inside of your left foot. Begin to turn yourself to the long edge of the mat, coming back into your goddess pose. So your heels are in and your toes are out. So slowly just beginning to bend each knee at a time, floating your palms and your fingertips on the ground. Breathing here. Slowly with every breath, you begin to grow taller. Being playful here, trying something new, using your imagination. And finding yourself in your goddess pose, any variation with your hands that you like. Bending deeply into your knees, finding that squat. Nice and strong. And inhale as you lengthen your legs, reaching your arms up towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale. Flowing like this a few times on your own. Inhale to find length. Exhale to squat. Connecting with your breath here. Wherever you are, one more. And bringing your hands to your hips, let's lengthen our legs, turning our heels out, toes in, growing nice and tall in the spine. And begin to hinge at the hips, diving forward into your forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. Maybe this time let's clasp our hands back behind us like we did in our pyramid, getting into that shoulder opening in our fold here. Or bringing your hands wherever feels good for you. So pushing into the outer edges of the feet, finding that lift through the arches once again. And from here, let's get into that lion's breath one more time. So inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale, lion's breath, let it out. One more time like that, in through the nose. Lion's breath. And returning back to your natural rhythm of breath on your inhale. Bring your hands to your hips, leading with the heart to bring yourself back up to standing. From here, heel toe your feet back in towards one another. We'll inhale our hands up towards the sky, palms touch, and exhale, allow them to float down towards your sides. Mountain pose here for a couple rounds of breath, just connecting back to your heart center and your breath here. Feel yourself nice and light. And blink your eyes open. So we're going to end our practice today with one more pranayama exercise. So this one is one of my favorites. This is called Breath of Joy. So this is also a very activating breath exercise. So we will be doing it standing here. It's a 3-part inhale and a 1-part exhale. So we'll be bringing our hands up on our inhale. It's going to look like this. In through the nose, and exhale out through the mouth as we fold. So I'll show you one more time. And we'll do that about 10 times. So I'll guide us through our first sequence, and then you will continue on your own. On that 10th exhale, continue to stay folded and return to your natural rhythm of breath. All right, find your footing here. Let's just take one deep inhale together and exhale. And begin. Inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. Continue on your own. Two more. On your exhale, stay folded, returning to your natural rhythm of breath here. And slowly take your time as you begin to roll yourself up to standing, coming back into your Tadasana mountain pose, shining your palms forward, closing down the eyes, and just observing again any shifts, any new prana, energy, life force that's flowing through your bloodstream. All right, you can blink your eyes open if you have them closed still. Returning to our surroundings, to our space, bringing your hands to heart center, just taking a moment to give yourself a little thanks, a little gratitude, maybe bowing your chin towards your chest and saying namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's practice. I encourage you for the remainder of your day or your evening or maybe even tomorrow to bring in some new quality of this air element. So whatever that means for you. Maybe you bring in a practice that involves your breath or your voice. Maybe you do something like singing or chanting. Maybe you play an instrument. Maybe you tap into your creativity. Maybe you do a new exercise. Or maybe you just be very intentional and light with your movements throughout the next day or throughout tomorrow. So let me know whatever you choose to do. Switch it up, try something new, and really try to embody this creativity and this source of heart connection that the air element is reminding us to do. So again, thank you so much for being here today. Send me a comment, a like, a subscribe, share this with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the other elemental series. Thank you so much.